is up, Netflix fans? And this is my quick review of the brand new Netflix anime that just dropped this last week, and that is Kengan Ashura. Today we are talking about it. I need your thoughts down below. First of all, are you familiar with the manga, what this is based upon, and are you happy with the translation? Because that's one thing that I'm not going to be able to judge since I did not get the chance to see the source material, but I have seen the show today. I'm going to judge only that. Let's talk about it. So one day, a 56-year-old man is summoned by the chairman of his company and hired as a gladiator. He learns that these hired gladiators engage in battles called the Kengan matches to protect the corporate rights of the businesses they represent. He is assigned to battle a mysterious fighter, and both men join the tournament with the hope of winning the spot as chairman of the Kengan organization. So off the top, let's start with things that I like about this series. The animation took a bit to get used to, and every now and then I think the frame rate was moving a bit too fast for me, especially during battles. I miss the days when we can just have straight 2D animation. Now we get that all the time, but with a lot of these Netflix translations, for some reason they're opt to go more the 3D, 2D mix or just straight 3D, and sometimes that can take away from the experience or just take away from the connection with the characters that they're trying to establish. Now, I enjoyed the characters, I really did. A lot of this show is based upon revenge and this one guy trying to get into this match to fight the one person that he wants to fight, yes, but it is also this giant battle where they have to go up against each other, and that provided for some really entertaining battle scenes. Now, I compared it to Fight Club. This does have that. All right, we're not going to tell anybody, all of these organizations, this underground situation here, and these people going up against each other. And in that vein, in that sense, the show was really fun and thoroughly entertaining from that standpoint. And the action scenes, while the frame rate was moving a bit fast at times, like I said, I did enjoy that. Now, like I said, I am not familiar with this source material. I've been hearing a lot of people compare this to the show Baki, which is something else that I haven't had the opportunity to check out, so I would love to see some comparisons in the comments down below. Is that show worth watching along with this show to make a nice 1-2 punch? And speaking of 1-2 punches, this show reminded me a lot of Street Fighter. Not necessarily the narrative, just the stances of the characters, the fighting style, even some of the camera angles and the shadows at times. That really makes the show worth watching to me. If you're here and you're trying to find a story that's going to blow your mind or a plot that's going to revolutionize anime, I don't think that's what you're going to find. The plot was interesting, like I said. This underground feel to the entire thing makes the show, I think, a bit more intriguing to maybe someone who isn't familiar with anime and they want to check this out when they haven't really been watching anime their entire lives or over the last couple of years. But what I loved about it is how it reminded me of MMA-style fighting. It's this one-on-one match that you get every episode pretty much after the first few. I think the animation is really good. It's just the 3D element to it. At times, it feels like a PlayStation graphics set from the early 2000s. But at other times, you can notice the detail and the shadows within the characters, and this art style, I think, is great. It is the appropriate art style for a show like this, and every single time they engage in combat, every single time a character is yelling at another character, and that's another thing about this show is a lot of animes in this vein, they're over the top. The characters are screaming and yelling at each other. This one, I think, more so than some others. I mean, there is so much yelling in this show, and every character, every line of dialogue that comes from their mouth is extremely pronounced. Not every other line, it's basically every line of dialogue. They're yelling or screaming, which is fine. It added to the fun of the story. Another thing that I want to talk about is the English dubbing to this show. I tried. It didn't work as well as some other animes do. It basically all comes down to what you prefer. Do you prefer subbing? Do you prefer dubbing? I like subbing because I love getting the original articulate performances out of the actors. I can see the translation at the bottom of the screen. That doesn't bother me. It all comes down to what you prefer coming from a show like this. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and say this is a story that is worth diving into. Now, we only, as far as I know, got about half of the season. This is part 1. We're getting part 2 later. So I'm excited to see how they continue on this story because there is a major cliffhanger at the end. And I think a lot of people who are fans of this show, they're not going to want to wait as long as I think we're going to have to wait for part 2. And then I just want to reiterate the fact that I wasn't in love with this story. I wasn't even in love love with the characters. I liked our main two characters. They were interesting. They were intriguing. Some of the side characters, they could have used more fleshing out. This show in general, I think it needs more fleshing out for me to appreciate it on the level that I wanted to just from seeing that trailer. But I still had fun. I was thoroughly entertained. I do want to see more from this. I am just interested to see how fans of the manga take this interpretation in. Did it do it in a way that makes you happy? Did it do it in a way that offends you? I would love to know that answer in the comments down below. All in all, I enjoyed it for what it was. I am going to go 66% for part 1 of Kengan Ashura, and I just want to see what happens next. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see me do more of these Netflix anime shows, I haven't been doing them over the last couple of weeks just because I've been so busy, but this one dropped. I was interested. I was thoroughly entertained. I would love to know if you guys want more of this, and if you don't, I will stick to what I normally do with Netflix movies and tier lists and all of those things. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you very soon.